Welcome to Meet an FCMC. My name is Rahi Tajza, the CMC, and I'm joined here today by Rodney Evely, FCMC, who is a senior executive advisor and seasoned management consultant with over 30 years of experience in executive leadership, business transformation, and strategic planning, specializing in large-scale enterprise implementation and digital transformation projects for both public and private sector clients. He's recognized in leading transformative initiatives valued up to $1 billion, including the $650 million CBSA CARM SAP project, and was recently honored with the FCMC designation for outstanding contributions to the profession, operational cost reductions, and his leadership in mentoring and pro bono advisory programs. Welcome, Rodney.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, the pleasure is mine. So, as we meet more FCMCs, I'm always curious to know what it is that makes an FCMC what they are. And I think one that stands out when I looked at your profile is being an FCMC that's already highly accomplished. How does the FCMC designation help you stand apart or out from other consultants in the consulting world?
Well, that's a very good question. Thank you. I believe it's self-awareness. I believe it's altruism. As you mentioned, in the front of the package, I've been very deeply involved in mentoring and pro bono. Both of those programs have been wildly successful at CMC Canada. And apart from the fact that pro bono is truly my baby, we've been working on this now we're in our fifth year in pro bono. At the end of the day, it's largely, though not exclusively, disposition of the brand of CMC. Because as I speak and I meet to probably about 100 different CEOs of non-for-profits and charities across Canada, none of them have ever heard of CMC Canada. So my team and I, of which we're five now, we are on a relentless mission to expose and FCMC and CMC Canada in terms of our consulting expertise and what we believe is value for those charities. So to stand apart, I guess, is someone who gets deeply involved in the organization, including our practices. Obviously, my practice has been around now for about 30 plus years, but I really wanted to get deeply involved in CMC Canada about 6, 7 years ago. And it's been, frankly, the best experience of my life.
Excellent. So if I'm a CMC, and we have
Mhm.
CMCs in 48 or 9 countries around the world.
49.
If I want to demonstrate my contributions to the profession such that I can then be recognized and then nominated for the FCMC designation, how would I go about doing that? What is your advice there?
Well, we have an FCMC committee that meets regularly, and that committee stands strong in terms of selecting its fellows. First step would be to get sponsored and go through the sponsorship process from an FCMC perspective. But really, one has to stand out in terms of their consulting ability, their consulting acumen. How involved are they in their communities? Because as when you and I were young and we were, wanted to go to, for example, law school or wanted to go to med school, it was not just as simple as getting A's. You had to get out and you had to meet people. You had to demonstrate that sense of altruism to your community in order to be considered, because volunteering is extremely important. And that's one of the best ways that one can get recognized nationally, provincially, nationally as well, including internationally.
Very well said. I forget which book it was by Dale Carnegie, but one of his advice was that when you look in the mirror every morning, you say to yourself, I'm here on this day only once. So any good that I
Absolutely.
can do, maybe I should do
Absolutely.
it and do it for goodness sake. I mean, it's not just Christmas
Absolutely.
time that it applies. And
Absolutely.
advice for CMCs looking to earn their fellowship, actually making those contributions prior to being recognized. What advice do you have there? So you have pro bono, but
Mhm.
what else do you advise?
We have a mentoring program, as well, rather, which is quite successful. And one of the reasons I set that up was to expose the more junior and intermediate consultants to senior consultants, and to get involved in that process. So a lot of our mentors are actually CMCs, mentoring mentees that are student associates and just associates of the CMC designation and not CMCs. So that would be a great way to get started from a mentoring perspective. There's also professional development as well, which is led by the Ontario Council. And our EOC president, Jennifer Smith, is very involved in that as well. So professional development is very, very near and dear to my heart. So get involved in professional development. Seek out ways in which you can tailor and you can expose your expertise to the consulting community is an excellent way to start and kick off that process.
Excellent. Well, usually we only do three questions, but this has been fantastic and painless. So, what happens if my application for the FCMC designation is not successful on the first attempt? What's your advice there?
Try again, and seek out what was missing. It's important to understand, the decomposition and of that, and just understanding what the council thought that was missing from that application. That's what I would do. And I've seen people, I know people that have been turned down and went back to second time, third time, and received the designation. And there are a variety of reasons for that. I'll let the FCMC committee, discuss that for sure. But go to them and plead your case. And I think that they really respect that and they really value someone who goes to them and, acts professionally, does professionally, and engages professionally.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we're consulting ourselves in that case, right? We're doing a fault tree analysis of our own application. Very well said, Rodney. Thank you very much for your time today. This has been enlightening. I can't wait to share this with the rest of our CMCs around the world. And I really appreciate the fantastic work that you've done, not just for the profession, but frankly, for everybody. This is a wonderful thing that CMCs are recognized for to become an FCMC. And I'm going to say, keep on keeping on. Have a wonderful day, Rodney.
Thank you.